Hey folks, welcome back to DCS. So much like the MiG-19 video that I uploaded the other day, we're flying the Sabre on Caucasus on the regular ECW Sabre right now. So we're fighting against MiG-21s, Mirage F1s, MiG-15s, Frogfoots, you know, the usual roster of stuff. Not sure if I actually just took a hit there whilst we were taking off. It does say there's a MiG-21 2 kilometers away, but I don't think he'd have gunned me from that distance. Either way, it doesn't seem to have done any damage, so we're just going to continue on our way. That MiG ends up being killed by the airfield, so pushing further on. And we're chasing a Mirage F1, trying to find it based on the EWR reports. 0.4 miles, and there he goes, passing us. So the Mirage F1 quite obviously outclasses us in pretty much every metric possible except for turn rate. It looks like he's going for a high yo-yo in the hope of coming back down on me, with me not having known that he's there, but because I turned inside his turn, and he doesn't want to turn for our Sabre because that would be stupid, he runs away. So we follow him for a while. He just keeps running to get some separation, to give himself enough room to turn back hot. Because I chase him, he just doesn't. But the EWR reports point out a MiG-19 close by. I spot this friendly F5 that's like lagging out, it's jittering about all over the place. Despite knowing it's a friendly, I keep following him up because I assume he's got his eye on something. So if I keep following him to see what he can see, or perhaps he has a 6 he's trying to avoid, that I might be practically in a formation with. Don't see anything yet. Still see the F5 is rating around to the left, and as we come around, we see a target diving on top of him, and it's a MiG-19. So I've got quite a lot of experience fighting Sabres in the MiG-19. They're one of the more tricky things for it to deal with. It can obviously out-thrust a Sabre massively and just play in the vertical, but Sabres can out-turn you and they have much better nose authority. So if you get slow around them, they're a significant threat. Generally when I'm flying the 19, I'm quite easily able to keep myself safe from a Sabre. But for whatever reason, all the MiG-19s I've encountered whilst I've been flying the Sabre have actually been one of the more enjoyable things to dogfight. And I don't think I've died to a MiG-19 yet. Spoiler alert. He stacked high, he outclimbed me, gave himself a lot of potential energy and then dived down. But I'm just staying inside his turn circle because his nose authority is so bad. Just rolling inside him. Unfortunately didn't get any hits there. But as long as he plays the 1 circle, I'm basically going to win. He's just going to make himself slow. So if he doesn't ditch out at an intelligent time, or if he doesn't make the most of his ditch out, then he's just killing himself. Here he tries to ditch out into the vertical, but seems to have forgotten that sidewinders are a thing. I'm aware that the MiG-21 just crossed my nose, so we'll kill that guy. Roll to get eyes on the 21, and then this could have been a beautiful 2-piece, but for whatever reason this 21 like disconnects, so if you keep looking at him, he's going to fly past the wreck of the 19, and then he just literally disappears in front of my eyes. Gone. Very odd situation. So I'm worried about that Mirage F1 that was around. Don't want to fly in a straight line for too long on Caucasus because the missiles are crap enough that if you just turn a bit they miss anyway. You can dodge missiles by accident quite often. Spidey sense was right. Turning around meant that the Sidewinder or whatever it was that the Mirage F1 gets on Caucasus didn't hit me, and I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. Guesses what he's going to do next. I don't think you'll need too many. I do attempt to chase him down for a while, but as he climbs, I'm just never gonna chase him through that. He has way more engine power, way more thrust, so yeah. He runs away again. So we're now up at a crazy altitude above the clouds. Figure in here is that I can turn well enough to dodge missiles on this server, it's not an issue. But I struggle to spot people, so if I come up above the clouds, or if I'm into the cons, then people will just highlight themselves for me quite easily. And then, so long as they keep turning long enough without diving out,
there's still one piston on.
You should be able to get behind them fairly easily.
Yeah, I'm searching.
So EWR said there was a MiG-19.
He's on the 8 then.
A little bit below me, so we're going to dive down and
okay,
there he is. Contrailing beautifully. Not going to get a sidewinder turn at this aspect, but I would have probably gone for it if I did, because at this altitude missiles are actually pretty dangerous, even if they are crap. MiG-19 still has his tanks on, so his performance is going to be severely compromised.
He's next to the factory over Sukumis.
And he ditches his tanks there, and he really should have just extended in a straight line to have been safe here, but because he keeps turning, I just managed to stay with him. Especially in a dive, because I don't think the top speeds on the deck are too dissimilar. It's just the acceleration that sets him apart. I'm trying to use the radar gun sight here, because he's constantly rolling around instead of just pulling in one direction. It doesn't work out very well, and here I actually start to struggle with some compression issues. So I throttle all the way down. Intentionally want to slow down here so that I can pull without blacking out and not compress, and as every time he reverses his turn, he just lets me get closer to him. And if I was slightly less crap at flying this thing, probably would have been dead here. But he starts to get into the point where I just do not have the thrust to follow him up. So I drop the landing flaps all the way down here to try and keep my nose on, because I don't want to separate from him too much. I don't want to give him the room he needs to drop on top of my head. Thankfully he stalls out the other way, so we're able to bring the flaps back up, roll back in to meet him, and he doesn't quite have enough room to get nose on. And he just keeps going with this one circle stuff. If he had just rated me and stayed high, there's literally nothing that I would have been able to do about it. Because I'm barely staying airborne at this point, I'm so slow. Every time he dives, he just gives me all of the manoeuvring space I need, and he lets me build my speed back up. Missile's not going to work there. So he's actually still in full burn here, but because he's pulling so hard, he's really negating his thrust advantage, because he's just bleeding his speed off faster than he can get it back. And I basically idle throttle, staying behind him despite him being in full burn. And one of these days, I'll get some hits. There we go. So we've shot his left elevator off, which will hamper his nose authority even further. And there we go, some nice hits. Doesn't take many. Unfortunately, that doesn't kill him, and we end up getting tied up with someone else. I'm trying to finish the job right here. Radar gun sight and the Sabre is actually quite good. You see we do get some hits on him there. But the MiG-19 can be quite tanky, and he manages to just outpull that missile. I heard something supersonic merge with me there. And the next EWR report, Frogfoot 0.3 miles gave me cause for concern, so I looked behind just in time to see him shoot his gun at me. He still has his ordnance on, and the Sabre can outpull a Frogfoot. So I basically just stay inside his turn circle, roll to put my nose in front of his, and my guns didn't fire there. Initially I thought it was because I was neg-G'ing and I was getting that piercing, like over-G noise. But then we get another opportunity here. MiG-15 just flew through there as well. Guns aren't working. At this point I realised that it's because after firing that Sidewinder I forgot to switch back. Sun completely obscuring my gun sight here, but we managed to shoot off his rudder and set one of his engines on fire. That differential thrust is going to make him yaw, but he's not going to be able to counter it with his rudder. So I'm pretty happy that's going to be the end of that guy. Not sure where that MiG-15 went, but I do see something behind me. You can see the MiG-19 that's smoking still. And there's this MiG-15. So obviously the MiG-19's damaged. MiG-15's more of a threat. There goes the MiG-19. Nah, didn't get that right. Still only have about 5-6 hours flight time on this airframe. Not sure how I didn't get hits there, unless I did, but they didn't do any damage. There's another 15 in the mix. Generally better to switch your attention to the person pursuing you, because if you're dead you can't kill anything. And here I just decide to disengage. I'm faster than a MiG-15, I know I can outrun MiG-15s, especially if I'm forcing him to do a 180 before he can tail me. So we're going to just make our way back to base. Our fuel situation's not great anyway. Not the most kills in a sortie I've ever got. Only 2, I think. Felt like we got quite a bit done. Tied them up for a while. The biggest take home here was really the fact that I decided to leave in time to not run out of fuel before I got to the airbase, because you know, I learned my lesson from the MiG-15 video. Except, guess who's come back? The Mirage F1 just has not given up this entire time. I think he's been lurking, following me with DWR reports continually in the hope that I'll let my guard down long enough for him to just get an easy kill. This is good and bad. Good obviously because I'm aware enough that he's there to not let him just freely kill me. But bad because I was really understating how awful my fuel situation is. And we literally just ran out. So thankfully the runway is literally right in front of me, but the F1 is literally right behind me. Thankfully a friendly Vigan saves the day, and I think I'm close enough that we are going to be able to make it back. And I've dead stick landed the Sabre before as well, so I think we should be good here. We've got good speed and we're actually gaining it, so yeah. Nice and smooth. I actually enjoy flying the Sabre. It has a very nice flight model. It's very easy to land. So there's a wreck in the middle of the runway and then a F5 kind of blocking the taxiway exit, and I don't have any brakes. I don't have any thrust, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually clear the active. But anyway folk, really enjoying flying the Sabre and the MiG-15 on the Caucasus variation of the Enigma's Cold War server. Not so much on Syria, because the lack of flares and decent missiles is a humongous handicap, and you quite often just get third party because it takes you quite a while to gun kill anything, and because people know that missiles are a massive force multiplier, they just don't get into a fight with you in the first place in the same way that they do on the Caucasus version of the server. But this will not be the last time I fly this thing, so if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment, I'll try and get back to you. and consider joining the membership scheme to help support the channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.